Hey folks, today I'm going to tell you what it's like to be a successful entrepreneur. It's a video I've wanted to make for a couple weeks now. Just as sort of, I don't know, more than anything, like a journal of my own life. But I'm also keeping in mind that a lot of people who would aspire to being where I am now or want to understand the perspective of where I am now will watch this video. So thanks for watching and let's get into it. So I have now landed in a place where I feel that my work to launch my first big venture, supported venture, is largely done, and that the business is maturing to the point where I can take a step back and it will continue to grow, and that I've got, the right implementation of my vision and everything like that, and I don't have to worry about money now, and I don't have to worry about losing clients, getting clients, people quitting or anything like that, because what I've set up is robust and stable enough to sort of do its own thing now. So what does it feel like on a personal level? Well, I would say it feels a little bit relieving, quite a lot relieving actually. A little bit lonely I was never a normal average guy at all, but the experience of having gone through this has sort of disconnected me a lot more from the human experience as it's commonly lived around the world. Not that I was ever, exactly a normal guy, as I said. But what else? It's inspiring to have actually seen that I had a vision that came from my heart and a need that I saw in the world, and I started by solving my own need, and that specifically, it was a passion project. It was like literally I had to start this business so that I could work remotely and not have to go and live in Canada ever again. So I think I'm there. And that, it always comes from your wounding. All of this sort of, since it was a passion project, with the passion that you feel comes from your wounding and the lack that you feel in your life, the lack that you feel in your sort of relationships inside yourself and your self-love and all that sort of stuff. And my lack was very much a connection to other people in the culture that I grew up in Canada, that led me to go out in the world and want to do something different. It's really nice that it proved to be like I saw from which way I was going from 2007, let's say, 2006. It was the writing on the wall was clear that I would need to get out of North America and live my life as an expat in different countries, especially Serbia, where I still make my main base today. And since that was passion, and since I turned that into a business, just like when I was a teenager, when I started my first business, which was really just me as a technician, as a computer technician, computer genius for hire, it was my passion for computers and connecting that with the needs of the market, which was home computer repair initially and business computer repair, and setting up and running the computers for my high school and all that sort of stuff. So I connected that need, so I was used to it. But the ability to combine that with travel through remote working and leveraging the geo arbitrage of different costs of living and different costs of talent and different pools of available talent, and how I could come to Serbia and actually work with people who I really enjoyed working with, really love the Serbs and other Eastern European people, and just like that was my passion, and connecting those two worlds was a passion. I'm not sure the business would have been so successful if it wasn't driven by my own passion for the transcultural aspects of it, for the freedom aspect of being able to work from where you want, not having to go into an office, not having to conform to the norms of society, the rat race, so on and so forth. So that was like what drove me. It was an artistic vision that went along with being a musician as well, being someone who played music, European music, traveled around Europe and wanted to spread the message of freedom, which very much resonated with the business. I don't think it would have been successful with that. So how does it feels a lot better that this is actually a business that came out of my passion for travel and tech and human beings and their interactions with technologies, and developing a system and framework for how people could use technology to transcend and enhance their access to culture. So would it have felt as good if I, for example, just got rich off cryptocurrency, as I now do a little bit? No, it wouldn't be as good. And the fact that I brought myself to a level where I could speak my truth and passion and contribute to the world that way feels really good. Now, I'm at a point where I get to recede into the background of the business a lot more, even though a lot of the communication is done through videos of me like this talking, but somehow I was always chasing this authenticity, and I'm happy I'm able to make these videos that convey the authenticity. But what continues to be a grind is having to show up for meetings all the time. I love my internal team, they're my family almost. But having to show up with meetings all the time and meet people for the first time, selling to them, arguments, negotiations, terms and conditions, disciplining certain, like saying no, setting boundaries, all that sort of stuff remains to be a bit of a grind. But as the system gets rolled out according to my vision, and other people get competent in managing it according to that system, those values, and all that stuff, I have to do less of that, so it's better. So what does it feel like to be a successful entrepreneur? It feels like I've changed myself. I've completely transformed myself in the process of making this venture, so that I'm no longer I'm the same person as I was before all of this, but my orientation towards stress, outcomes, and managing things, and the whole orientation towards money, of course, responsibility is completely different than when I started this business, let's say 5 years ago. And a lot of the skills actually that I deployed in the last 5-6 years running this business are skills that I initially did learn being a musician, running his own band as a singer-songwriter, traveling the world, doing tours, booking the tours, writing the songs, all that sort of stuff, that people skill. So and it's a very good marriage of that, because I would say, in my childhood and adolescence and early 20s, there was an influence of both those types of people. So I grew up, just to fill you in a very wealthy, successful neighborhood with lots of very rich people around me and successful people in a very upper middle class setting, where there were also lots of upper class people around me as well. And I also grew up with a father who was working in the music industry, and I got to be around rich people and successful musicians growing up, and I got to also see the problems in the lives of those people, exceptional people, most of the people I grew up around. So, and my father had a very successful career, always new ventures, and always, being at the center of making it work between the rich people and the artistic musicians people, and sort of being a translator between them, which was a very interesting job, and he taught me a lot of those values. And I think that's the reason why I became a musician myself, because I saw the value of that sort of artistic musician lifestyle, and how it had something that the rich people didn't. And also why I wanted to be a rich person, because, well, everybody can sort of imagine what rich people have that other people don't have, you can summarize in phrases like FU money and, financial freedom, or whatever you want to call it. As they say, the money can't make you happy, but the lack of money can make you absolutely miserable. So I aspired to be both of that. both of those things, a successful musician, successful entrepreneur. And both of them are sort of a freedom, something about freedom. And so Supportive Venture as a business, I wanted to be like, when I went to this seminar in 2015 where I was starting the business and imagining the whole vision of it, I want to be a rock star tech boss. And that's essentially what I've become. And so how does it feel? Yeah. Therein comes the loneliness, because at every point in the line, you have to be that stubborn leader person, lone wolf, who's off living for the vision and being a leader of other people. And at this point, I mostly have stuff in common with other entrepreneurs. You know, I talk with one friend, and he says like, wow, we're on a different level, aren't we? Like, we just think of the world in such a different level. Why can we talk to each other in this way? And when everybody else doesn't get this, it's like, well, yeah, that's what we've been through, and that's where we got. And I feel the same with musicians who are like writing their own songs and stuff like that, and having some success in resonating their emotions in a way that touches lots of people. It's like, once you feel that, it's just that your ideas can touch a lot of people as an entrepreneur so that you make money, and that you can manage people to get a result and build a business. And then the other one is to be a musician and have people who are able to, how to explain it, to be inspired by your being and your songs and your perspective of life and these chords and melodies and rhythms that you piece together to broadcast pure emotion. They're two completely amazing ways of doing it. But both of them are still kind of like a duty in my life, that part of it is me and part of it, like, I constantly have to push myself to show up for it and, you know, to push it forward. And yeah, I still got lots of work to do as a human being, and I've still got lots of work to do, even though I've come a long way with my habits of health, but I still, you know, have alcohol drinking binges where I just, you know, go and drink myself, so just to numb the realness of life. And yeah, I still got lots of work to do on myself, and I'm so happy that until now my life has been inspiring enough that, you know, we got 80 people around the world who have jobs because of me. You know, my other YouTube channel, Belgrade Beat, has 10,000 subscribers. People walk up to me on the street. Like yesterday, in 1 hour, I was sitting at a cafe here in Belgrade, and two people, actually they were both Asian, came up to me and thanked me for my work of spreading the message on YouTube. So yeah, what's it like to be a successful entrepreneur? It's great, but what's the next level of what I'm doing? The next level is to help other successful entrepreneurs with the biggest issue that we may have in the future, and that a lot of people, successful people, have, is loneliness. I mean, the same sort of thing that allows us to rise above and become leaders of other people also is a disconnect from the commonality of people and the satisfaction. It's like a neurotic need to succeed sort of thing. And some people have it in a more conniving and sinister way than I do, and they want to, you know, they're sociopaths, and they will fuck other people over to be successful, and they're just looking for status symbols. You can spot those guys really easily. And then there's like guys like me who are completely happy just riding around the city on the bicycle, wearing like these basic clothes from whatever, just so you don't have to think about it. And you know, food is something I spend money, travel is something I spend money on, accommodation, you know, I like a nice accommodation, but I don't have to show off my wealth. It sounds even ridiculous, but I guess that is because I grew up in a rich neighborhood already, of people who were old money, right? In Rosedale and Moore Park in Toronto. And among old money, and coming from a family with some, you know, traditional wealth that was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was then taken away by communists. I think that experience, having my grandparents go through that, really kind of put the message in again, that it's not about wealth. It's more about health. It's more about sanity. It's more about safety, and it's more about surrounding yourself with an ecosystem of people who feel you and you feel them, and being a part of a community. So, yeah. But there's going to be a lot of people out there. There are going to be lonely, successful people. And like since I started making a little bit of money off of cryptocurrency, or at least the value of the cryptos that I invested in are going up, it was interesting to see the multiple streams of income and how much more relaxing I was now that, oh, here's a couple thousand off of crypto value that just went up. And because before that I realized I was neurotically attached to the financial success of the business. Now I've got at least two of them. So multiple streams of income are relaxing. A friend of mine who at one point had like $7 million told me he neurotically checked that he still had $7 million or multiple times a day on his banking app. Which is like, yeah, I get that. Because it's kind of unbelievable when you get to a point where you don't have to worry about money, because you got good at worrying about money and driving results in finances and all that sort of stuff. And you don't have to worry about it. But what you do have to worry about is how different you've become from other people, how people will try to take advantage of you, take you for a ride and stuff like that because they can get money out of you or whatever, and all of that sort of stuff. So I feel I'm well equipped to deal with this next part of my life. I feel like growing up around lots of successful artistic and business people has prepared me for this next stage of my life, which is going to be all about combining the two, I think, in a new way, in a new venture, which you'll see soon. But what does it come down to? It comes down to freedom. It comes down to emotional freedom. It comes down to making space in your life, getting out of scarcity and making space in your life to work on some of those unresolved issues of connecting to other people, which I still admittedly do have in a lot of ways. Even though I'm great with people, I still need to be alone to recharge. And I was watching this Dr. Gabor Mate over the last 24 hours. I was watching a video of him and Tim Ferriss, and something about the wounding and emotional and the sacrifice that we made for belonging and became inauthentic, all of that sort of stuff as children, and that's part of the trauma. And for me it definitely is, and for a lot of people it is, and admitting that is a big part. So I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is what it's like to be a successful entrepreneur. It's not the be all and end all. As I said, now I don't have to worry about a lack of money making me unhappy at the current moment. Some people lose everything from here. We'll see what happens. Catch you guys later. Bye now.